Have you ever wondered why the greatest civilizations, Egypt, Greece, India, and the mystery schools of the ancient world, guarded their secrets so fiercely that only a chosen few were ever permitted to know them? Why were their initiation rites hidden in shadow, whispered only in temples, and forbidden to the unprepared? Because initiation was not a ceremony, it was a death, not of the body, but of the self you think you are. To step into the mysteries meant to leave behind the ordinary world, to face trials designed to shatter the illusion of reality itself, and to awaken something dormant within. These sacred rites were not mere rituals, they were portals, gateways to higher awareness, designed to unlock powers and perceptions that remain buried deep within us all. And yet, the modern world has forgotten. What once was the highest pursuit of the human soul has been buried under distraction, materialism, and noise. But fragments of these secrets survive, carved in stone, veiled in myth, scattered in symbols. And if you know how to look, they reveal a blueprint for transformation that is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. In this journey, we will uncover 5 hidden spiritual secrets of ancient initiation rites, teachings so profound that those in power have tried to erase them from memory. These secrets were designed not just to test the initiate, but to awaken the divine spark within. And by the end of this video, you will understand why they were hidden, how they worked, and how you can apply fragments of this wisdom to your own path of awakening. Welcome to Esoteric Glyph, where ancient wisdom meets modern seekers. If you're new here, subscribe and join our growing community of truth seekers and hidden knowledge explorers. And if you've been walking this path with us for a while, remember, your engagement keeps this knowledge alive. Like, share, and leave a comment about your own spiritual journey, so we can keep building this temple of wisdom together. Now take a deep breath. Imagine you are standing at the gates of an ancient temple, torchlight flickering against the stone, silence heavy with expectation. The initiation is about to begin. Let us step into the mysteries. To understand the hidden power of initiation rites, we must journey backward, not just in time, but into the very soul of human civilization. Every culture that ever rose to greatness carried within it a guarded tradition, the mysteries. Egypt had the initiations of Isis and Osiris, where candidates symbolically descended into the underworld before being reborn into divine light. Greece had Eleusis, where peasants and kings alike stood side by side, drinking the Kykeon and confronting visions of death and immortality. In the East, the yogic and tantric initiations of India required disciplines of body and mind so severe that only the most devoted could endure them. Why were these rites so universal, and why were they hidden from the masses? Because initiation was not entertainment. It was not religion in the way we know it today. It was a technology of the soul, a deliberate process of breaking the false identity, stripping the initiate bare, and rebuilding them into a vessel of wisdom. In these temples, knowledge was not given, it was earned. And without the trials, without the symbolic death, knowledge could not transform into true gnosis. The philosophy was simple yet profound. Truth cannot be told, it must be realized. To read about immortality is one thing. To stand face to face with your mortality in the darkness of the crypt, hearing the echo of your own heartbeat, is something else entirely. That is why the ancients encoded their wisdom in myth and symbol. The myth of Persephone descending into Hades, the journey of the shaman into the underworld, the trials of Hercules. These were not children's stories. They were coded maps of initiation. But as civilizations fell and empires rose, the guardians of the mysteries faced a choice: preserve this wisdom in secrecy, or see it corrupted by the hands of the unprepared. And so the temples closed. The scrolls were burned. The rites became whispers in secret societies, fragments in alchemical texts, symbols carved into stone that only the initiate could read. And yet, the hunger for transcendence never left humanity. From Renaissance magi to modern occultists, from mystic poets to seekers in the digital age, fragments of initiation have always resurfaced, because the call to awaken is eternal. The tragedy is that in the modern world, initiation has been replaced with distraction. Where the ancients offered trials to awaken higher faculties, the modern world offers entertainment to keep them dormant. Where they tested the soul with silence, we drown it in noise. But here's the truth: the secrets were never destroyed. They live in us, waiting to be reawakened. For initiation was never about temples or rituals. It was about unlocking the hidden architecture of consciousness. In the next part of this journey, we will begin to uncover the first of the 5 spiritual secrets of initiation, the sacred tests that transformed ordinary humans into beings of extraordinary awareness. The path of initiation was never straightforward. It was designed as a labyrinth, each turn a test, each trial a mirror reflecting the initiate's own hidden self. Among the many veiled teachings, 5 secrets emerge, passed down in fragments through myths, symbols, and oral tradition. Let us uncover the first of them. Secret 1. The Trial of Darkness. The initiate's journey often began in silence and in shadow. In Egypt, candidates were placed in tomb-like chambers for days, surrounded by absolute darkness. In Eleusis, initiates were led blindfolded into vast underground halls, where the only light was a flickering torch. Why? Because darkness is not the absence of light, it is the canvas upon which the inner light awakens. Deprived of external senses, the mind turns inward. The fears buried deep within begin to rise. The illusions of self dissolve. This was the first death, the death of comfort, of external identity. The initiate was forced to confront the truth, that everything they thought they were was a mask, and that the real self only emerges when stripped bare. This secret teaches us that transformation begins not with addition, but with subtraction. To awaken, one must first pass through the shadows of one's own being. Secret 2. The Trial of Symbols. Once the darkness had done its work, the initiate was shown visions, symbols, or sacred patterns. In Eleusis, it was the sight of a sacred ear of grain, seemingly simple, yet profoundly cosmic. In Egypt, it was hieroglyphs alive with power, glyphs that were more than language, they were portals. Why symbols? Because words bind us to surface meanings, but symbols speak directly to the unconscious. The circle, the serpent, the labyrinth, the phoenix, these images bypass reason and ignite something primal within. The initiate was taught not to believe in symbols, but to meditate upon them, allowing the inner meaning to unfold like a seed breaking open. This secret teaches us that awakening requires a new language, not of logic, but of symbol and myth. To think only in words is to remain chained to the literal. To see with symbolic vision is to glimpse eternity. Secret 3. The Trial of the Elements. The third secret was the trial of the elements: fire, water, air, and earth. These were not metaphors in the ancient temples, they were lived ordeals. The initiate might walk barefoot across burning coals, plunge into icy rivers, breathe thin air in mountain caves, or be buried to the neck in earth. Why? Because initiation demanded mastery over fear and the realization that the elements outside are also the elements within. Fire is passion, water is emotion, air is thought, earth is body. To be purified by them was to balance one's inner cosmos. This secret teaches us that initiation is not escape from the world, it is reconciliation with it. Only when we see the universe mirrored within ourselves can we walk as conscious beings through it. The first 3 secrets tested the body, the senses, and the mind. But the final trials pierced even deeper, into the soul itself. They were not for the curious or the half-hearted. To face them meant risking everything, for they did not merely challenge the initiate, they destroyed them. And from that destruction, something far greater was born. Secret 4. The Descent into Death. At the heart of every initiation lay one terrifying truth. To awaken, one must die before dying. Ancient initiates underwent rituals that simulated death itself, lying in stone sarcophagi, their breath slowed to a whisper, or being led through labyrinths symbolizing the underworld. They were told they might not return. Some did not. Why such extremity? Because only by confronting death directly can one realize that life is not what it seems. The body dies, the personality fades, but the essence, the soul, remains. This was no abstract philosophy. For those who survived, the experience was shattering. Fear of death dissolved, and with it, fear of life itself. This secret teaches us that death is not the end, but the greatest teacher. To live without the shadow of fear is to live as the ancients called twice-born. Free, unshackled, luminous. Secret 5. The Revelation of the Divine Self. The final initiation was not given, it was revealed. After passing through darkness, symbols, elements, and death, the initiate was brought face to face with the greatest secret, that the divine they sought was not outside but within. In Egypt, this was symbolized in the moment the initiate stood as Osiris reborn, declaring, "I am that I am." In Greece, it was Persephone returning from Hades, bearing the gift of immortality. In India, it was the realization of Atman, the inner self that is one with Brahman, the infinite. This was not doctrine but direct experience. The initiate became a living temple, a vessel of the eternal. The illusion of separateness dissolved. The divine spark within was unveiled as the true self, always present, but hidden behind layers of conditioning. This secret teaches us that initiation is not about acquiring power, but remembering who we are. The journey ends where it began, within. The ancient initiations may seem distant, buried in temples, whispered in secret societies, wrapped in myth. Yet their essence remains alive, waiting for seekers who dare to walk the inner path. You don't need a stone chamber, a high priest, or a hidden temple. The true temple is within you, and fragments of initiation can still be lived today. 1. The darkness within. In a world drowning in constant noise, silence has become the rarest of treasures. To recreate the trial of darkness, practice intentional withdrawal. Sit in a darkened room, free of distractions, and remain with yourself. No phone, no music, no voices. Just the breath, the mind, and the silence. At first, the restlessness will scream. But stay. You will begin to see what the ancients saw, that only in silence does the inner voice awaken. 2. Living symbols. Our modern world is still filled with symbols, but we have forgotten how to read them. Begin by choosing a symbol that speaks to you. The circle, the serpent, the sun, or even a dream image. Meditate on it daily, not trying to analyze, but to feel. Watch how it speaks to your subconscious, how it stirs hidden parts of you. Over time, you will discover that symbols are not static. They are alive, evolving with you, reshaping your inner world. 3. Elemental discipline. Though we may not walk barefoot over fire, we can still train with the elements. Fasting to master hunger, cold showers to conquer resistance, breath work to expand the lungs, grounding barefoot on the earth to restore balance. These are modern reflections of elemental trials. Each time you step beyond comfort, you reclaim a fragment of the power that initiation once demanded. 4. Confronting death. How do we face death without the temples of the past? Through awareness. Meditate on impermanence. Walk among graveyards, not in fear, but in reverence. Reflect on the truth that every moment passes, every breath is borrowed. Instead of shrinking from death, befriend it. The ancients knew, when death is no longer an enemy, life becomes infinitely precious. 5. Remembering the divine self. The greatest practice of all is remembrance. Each morning, before the rush of the day, pause and ask, who am I beneath the roles, the name, the body? Watch as the layers peel back, as the witness behind your thoughts reveals itself. This is not imagination, it is initiation. For every glimpse of the eternal within you is a step into the mysteries. These practices may seem simple, but so were the rites in their outer form. The power is not in the ritual, it is in the transformation it ignites within you. Walk this path with sincerity, and you will discover that the initiations were never about reaching some distant heaven. They were about awakening the heaven already within. The modern world tells you to seek outside, more possessions, more status, more noise. But the ancient path whispers something else. Look within, strip away, remember. And if you begin even the smallest of these practices, you are already stepping where the initiates once walked. In the final part of our journey, we will bring everything together, and I will leave you with a reflection. One last key to carry with you beyond this video. The rites of initiation were never about power over others. They were never about secret societies hoarding mysteries for the sake of control. They were about something far more sacred, the liberation of the human soul. The ancients knew that most live half asleep, chained by fear, conditioned by society, lulled by distraction. The purpose of initiation was to break those chains, to descend into darkness and discover the inner light, to read the language of symbols and awaken the imagination, to master the elements and reconcile with the cosmos, to confront death and dissolve its terror, to stand reborn as a being who finally remembers. The divine spark has been within all along. These 5 secrets are not relics of a lost past. They are living truths encoded in myths, hidden in plain sight, waiting for seekers like you to rediscover them. The temples may have fallen, but the path remains. And every choice you make, to embrace silence, to honor symbols, to face fear, to remember who you are, becomes a step along that path. Now the question is no longer, what were the mysteries? The question is, will you walk them? If these truths resonated with you, it means the spark is already alive within you. Feed it, protect it, let it grow until it illuminates not only your own life, but the lives of others. This is the true legacy of initiation, not secrecy but transformation. If you found value in this journey, support Esoteric Glyph by subscribing, sharing this video, and adding your voice in the comments. Which of the 5 secrets spoke to you most deeply? And how will you begin to bring it into your life? Remember, awakening does not happen by chance. It begins with choice. And perhaps watching this video was your first step. The temple doors have never been closed. They've been waiting for you.